Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
We are here with another fun project for you on this fun Sunday. And we are going to make a Post-it note holder that also has a little pen holder in it as well. So we have two different versions of this. So this is the original version for the tutorial that we found. And as you can see, it sits a little bit taller. The pen fits in there really well. And it sits on a desk. Not that you can really see that, but it sits on a desk like that. Okay? So Danielle's going to make one that is this size. This size was designed to fit really, really well on an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. But you can only get one out of it, and you can only get one out of a 12 by 12. So I'm going to be doing one that's similarly sized to this, and you're going to be able to get two of them out of a 12 by 12. I'm not going to give my measurements just so we don't screw up, but we will put the measurements in the post for you. So if you wanted to do this version, you can follow those measurements. And if you want to do this version, you can follow Danielle's measurements.
Yay.
Yay. All right. So Danielle, what size pieces are you starting with?
I am starting with 5.5 by 8.5. 5.5 by 8.5. My next piece is 8.25 by 3 3/4, and then 7/8 by 4 1/4.
Awesome. All right. So do you want to start with your measurements, telling them how you're doing yours?
Okay. So on the shorthand side, you are going to, so I'm going to flip this around. So these are the short ends. You're going to score at 2 1/4, and then score one more time at 2 3/4. Then you're going to put your page in so that the long ends run parallel with your score lines on your scoreboard, whatever, or your paper trimmer, whatever technique that you're using. And then you're going to go ahead and score at 3/8 and 7/8. So you're going to have two score marks, a 3/8 and a 7/8. So let's see, this is 1/4. Here's my 7/8. And my 3/8. Thank you for the quick tutorial before we started, Michelle, or I would have never gotten that. So when you're done, it should look like a little grid that you have no idea what it's going to turn into. Are you scoring too, Michelle?
I am scoring mine, yes.
Okay. And then I'm going to just go ahead and tell you this part. You're going to cut this, if you're coming top of your page all the way down, that first score mark that you hit, you're going to cut all the way to the second score mark. And then you're actually going to get rid of these two pieces. So you can either use scissors or you can use your trimmer, whatever floats your boat. Michelle has been a crafting guru. She loves to make sure that when there's a craft project, it saves a lot of paper. So she's been modifying this. I found this somewhere and I sent it to her a few weeks ago and I was like, we should totally do this because this is Michelle's thing, right? Then I'm going to cut this square off right here, the first one, not the whole thing, just that first one on both sides. So so she's been making these, trying to get it to where you can make multiple out of one 12 by 12. Now I'm going to cut this here, but I'm not cutting it off, and I'm going to do a little triangle in it. So this is so that it folds in and it gets rid of that bulk. Where are you at on yours, Michelle? I'm not looking, so I can't tell
I'm
you.
essentially cutting the same parts that you're cutting. Mine just looks different.
Okay, perfect, 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 perfect. So when you're done, it should look, whether you're using Michelle's or mine, so if you end up using Michelle's, it'll just be shorter, essentially. It should look something like a T with a little lip on it down here at the edge. So we're gonna put that off to the side because we have more things to score. On our 3 1/4 by 8 1/4, I'm sorry, 3 3/4 by 8 1/4, you're gonna score it so that your short ends are parallel with your board. And you're gonna score it at 1/2, 1 1/2, 2 1/2. So 1/2, 1 1/2, 2 1/2. And that's all you do with that guy. And then you should have a 7/8 by 4 1/4. And you're gonna score that at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. So everything I'm doing is in inches.
Oh, I forgot that part.
All right. Michelle, do you want me to keep going, or are you have comments or tips or anything you want to interject?
Nope, you're great. Keep going.
Okay. So I'm done scoring. So now let's get our bone folder out and mark these down. I just had my bone folder. There it is. It's hidden. It was hidden.
How big is your little tiny piece there?
7/8 by 4 1/4.
Okay.
What is yours?
It's going to be essentially the same, except I'm doing an inch instead of 7/8.
Okay, and I don't know, it's something that Michelle and I have always said, when you're scoring your folds, always start in the middle and work your way out so that it keeps your paper even. So that's all I'm doing here. And I'm scoring on, I'm folding on all my score lines. Michelle, when you were making these, did you put your pretty pattern B&T paper on first, or did you wait until you had it assembled?
I did a little bit of both.
Okay.
What makes the most sense and gives you the prettiest product is to put your pretty paper on your pocket front first, but then to put the pretty paper, so you want to do this one first, but then you want to do the one that goes inside, you want to do that last, because that will hide some of your some of your glue spots and stuff.
Okay. All right, so are you ready for the assembly process?
Go for it.
No, you go for this. You take over.
Oh. Well, okay. I'll do a little bit of it, but then you have to take over again because my measurements are different. But I got 2 more score lines. Un momento.
All right, so I'm gonna put my pretty paper on the front of my pocket first. And I am using, while I'm waiting for Michelle to catch up on her score stuff, I am using a PML card from the Stitched Up collection. So the PML cards, you know, they coordinate with the paper. And so this is what I have left after I created my workshop. And so I just cut one of the 4x6 down to fit the front of this. So it was like this, and then I'm using each side, coordinating it. I thought this would be super cute for my stepmom who loves little, I don't know, eccentric things.
That would be why. I cut my paper wrong, so I had to fix it. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Exact off. All right. So attach your paper to your front. I am using some of the I'm using a PML card also, but I am using one that matched with the Stargazer paper. Let's see, what is this called? The Summertime. So we used this a while back to make some cards. These are just some pieces that I didn't use for those cards. All right, so what we are going to do, see, and I can't do mine put together because I'll do mine differently than you will, because mine is 2 pieces at this point where yours is just 1.
Okay. No problem.
So if you just, if you, on yours, here's the secret. If you mark with a pencil just under where your pocket lines up, so if I were doing the same thing, so my pocket is here, so if I mark just a little bit under, then that would be where I would line up my pen holder.
Right.
I glued mine the wrong way.
Did you put your pen holder on first, or did you adhere this?
I did it first without gluing the extra little front flap. So I glued the part that goes on the base, but not the bendy part. Does that make sense?
Did you glue it to the flap? In my head, I would glue it to the flap first, and then put this like so, and then put them all together.
I did not, but that's not actually a bad idea.
Okay.
That would actually probably make things a whole lot easier.
Okay.
I like that idea. We're gonna go with that idea.
You have made this over and over and over, and I've only made it one time and I junked it because I didn't like how it turned out. So that's why I was asking you to do assembly, because I was like, well, maybe, but I didn't do that like that my first time. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put adhesive on both of my scored parts. And I know that this is the pen that I want to use, but it's not clicking anymore. Oh, that's because I twist it. Okay, I'm just making sure it will fit on there.
So basically, like any other box, you're going to glue your flaps closed. And everybody has a different order for doing that and what makes sense to them.
Right.
And so I generally will do what's across the bottom first. So our bottom corners, I will generally do that first, just because it makes everything else easier.
Yeah,
You wouldn't
I get
think
it.
that. Right.
Yeah, it does make it makes it simpler.
All right, here's an extra little trick. So it won't work for yours because yours is whatever. But if you are gluing pockets on, like I'm doing, so I'm creating my pocket and then attaching it to my project. So while I did miter cut my corners, you can see that they overlap still. And the whole point of mitering corners is to reduce bulk.
Right.
So I can just take my scissors from the inside where they meet to the actual corner and just snip. And that removes excess. So I have one more to do.
I lined mine up on the wrong doohickey. No pressure. I'm not on camera at all.
You got this.
Oh, I know.
All right. So
I just want to put adhesive on the small flap. I put it on both of them and lined it up on the wrong score line. That's all. Don't mind me. Starting over. Not completely, just with this piece.
So because mine is slightly different than Danielle's, I'm actually going to glue my base together first. Hers is a separate piece, mine is all together. So before I put my box on and I can't reach the bottom, I'm going to glue that together.
I have probably got everybody all confused because I'm just adding glue and not saying anything. Okay. So what I did was I took my 7/8 by 4 1/4, scored it, and I'll grab the other piece that I have for my second one. And I just put adhesive here on my first score mark and then on this big long score mark. And I lined it up with the edge over here, but not on the score mark itself. I just used it as a guide, okay? Then I put adhesive on my flaps here and here, just the first one that's gonna be, because these are gonna be on the side, so you don't wanna put it there. And then on my little guys that I mitered earlier, so that when I flip it all in and you close it all up, it should line up really nice with each other. I said should.
You did say should, yes.
Okay, so I can put this in. This guy's bent, so I can add him in, and then it leaves enough room for my pin. And then I can line this up with the edges. And then I don't have to flip in and try and get my adhesive in. Now I can take my bone folder and really just secure that down. And now my flaps already have the adhesive on them, and I don't have to worry about them flipping up or out. There we go.
Man, moving that pen holder removes so much stress on trying to get this put together. Thank you.
Yeah, and it fits nicely in like that.
It does.
It kind of leaves you're not guessing so much.
Exactly.
Whoa, let's see, how many do these hold? 1, 2, 3. Oh, it holds 3 Post-it notes. And then a pen. Of course, I still have to put the back on.
So there's a slight downside for doing it that way though, which I just realized as I glued everything down.
Oh, when you go to put your pretty paper on.
Yep. So I am attempting to not stab myself and unglue just the side, just the bendy part.
Yeah. I need my Cricut spatula. I burnished it down pretty good. You know what? I'm not going to, because I already took glue off at once and it's already weak. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim my pretty paper so that it's flush here. Because
gotcha.
Once the notes are in,
right,
it's not going to be
noticeable.
Right.
All right. And so then I have to trim mine down a bit more.
I don't like that.
All right, perfect.
So instead of this being 3.5 by 4, it's going to be 3 1/4. If you follow my instructions and did what I did, it's going to be 3 1/4 by 3.5 by pretty paper. That's so that it still leaves a nice little border around there. Oh, that still turned out just fine. Wasted paper, but it still turned out okay. Don't look, Michelle, I wasted paper.
No worries. Little bits like that, I'm okay with.
Right, I understand. There. Okay, now I have to do the easel part. The part that makes it stand.
Go for it.
It doesn't, this is the part that I didn't do, so this is all you.
Well, see, mine is pre-attached. So basically, at that one end, you're just going to accordion fold the one end, and then that will get glued onto the back. So the little tab and the very top. So you're not gluing the whole thing, just the tiny little tab at the very bottom. Nope. Okay. So accordion fold that and squish it together. Okay. Do you have one more fold or just that? There you go. All right. So now you are going to put glue at the along the very tiny one. And you're going to put the same amount of glue across the very, very top. And yep, you're going to glue them like that.
Okay. That's where my brain was not connecting dots. Thank you.
No problem.
If I would have done it ahead of time instead of scratching it and just, I would have been able to finish the tutorial. This is why we do things together, because Michelle is definitely the brains behind most of what we do.
Oh, please.
Okay, so I'm gonna line it up. And then we'll hold it down. There. Oh, that's so cute. I love that. Mine's a little, mine's a little crooked. I don't like that.
All right, so to give you guys an idea, so the one Danielle made is 5 3/4 tall by 3 3/4 wide. Try and move this up. I know that sound out there is distracting, sorry. All right, so that's the one that she's got on her screen over there. The one I just made is also 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then this other little bitty sample that I made earlier is also 3 3/4, but it's only 4 inches tall. So I have a daddy, a mama, and a baby, and 2 more babies, and a baby in the oven.
You have a baby in the oven?
So I have pieces that, well, 2 pieces that are ready to go and not done.
You know, it'd be really cute in these right around the holidays. They sell like the little notebook kits in the dollar section at Target or Walmart or something like that. And they have those little mini gel pens.
Oh, those would be super cute.
Those would be really cute in here. You know, like if you were doing these as a gift giving thing for teachers or secretary or something like that.
Yeah. All right, so to give you guys an idea, I'll set these off to the side over here. So I told you that this would cut for 2 pieces, not counting the pretty paper, from 112 by 12. So this is the second one that I haven't cut, or that I have cut but I haven't scored or whatnot together. This is the extent of your wasted paper. So you have a strip that is 1/2 inch by 12 a strip that is 1/2 inch by 3, and a strip that is 1 inch by 3.5. That's all the waste that you have. And depending on the paper that you're using for your back, it could easily be used for other things, whether it's sentiments if you're using white, or there's any number of things that's possible. So super easy, super fun. They go together really quick, as you saw. So that one's not. All right. Yeah.
Straight.
So hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and Danielle's trying to put a sentiment on hers.
I have to be difficult. No, it says the best things, you know, when you're taking notes, get it? From the quotable words, everybody's probably so sick of me being like, the quotable, but I love that stamp set. So I'm just kind of trimming this down, and I was going to do a little dovetail on it and just pretty it up a little bit. You don't have to. It's really pretty without anything on it, to be honest.
They really are. And you can use any paper. You can use scraps of paper, or you can use, like, you can flip it like Danielle did, or you can use 2 completely different papers. Like, it really is up to you. So.
Sure. Yeah. It's darling.
It's so cute.
Thank you for finding this.
You found it. Thank you for finding it.
That's not what I meant. I meant thank you for changing it. Changing it up. I like the and taking the time.
I know I'm not the only one that's a paper saver.
Yeah.
So, all right, ladies and gents, we don't want to take up your whole day, so we're going to call that the end for our video. Thanks for joining us. We will put the measurements up as well, and as always, we can't wait to see what you make, what papers you use with making this, and putting them up in the gallery. So thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.